Hey guys, Mopar Man back with another project. It always seems like I got a lot of projects going on. So got some great deals on Black Friday for speakers, stereos, amps for my police Charger, my 2014 Charger Pursuit. Personally, I went with aftermarket because I think it's a unique opportunity to upgrade this car's sound system, because I'm not dealing with the traditional dash and center console. I have a police center console, as most of you guys have known, and there's a lot of room in that center console to mount some amps, and also I have the I have the 4.3 Uconnect touchscreen radio. The downside to that radio is it doesn't have Bluetooth, and I'm a big fan of having the Bluetooth when I'm driving, especially for the phone calls. I don't like holding my phone. I don't want to have to touch my phone to even answer the calls. I just want to be able to hit the button and answer the call. It's just such a great convenience. I have the stock Bluetooth in my monster truck, and that was great. And I have had it in the 08 Charger. I got the Bluetooth for that radio and got it programmed, so that worked out. And it's just nice. So you're probably asking yourselves, well, what have you been using since they didn't have the Bluetooth in the Charger? Honestly, headphones. And I hate that. I absolutely hate it. It annoyed me when people did that also, when they used to wear little headphones with the mic on it, because I always felt like you couldn't hear your surroundings. And I'm not crazy about it, but that's just me. So, like I said, got some great Black Friday deals. One thing I want to touch on is, a lot of people would have probably said to me, hey, you could probably have gone with like another touchscreen radio that would allow you to have Bluetooth and all that stuff instead of going all these crazy routes. That's the problem. They don't really have something. They do have touchscreen radios, but it doesn't replace the radio where it's at. It actually gives you another, and I'll post what I'm talking about in the video. It gives you another faceplate that goes down lower where your AC controls are and your volume knob is and everything. And it actually moves those controls down lower, and then the screen goes right here. Unfortunately for me, for the Pursuit Charger, my center console, being a police console, comes up and fits right below those buttons. So if I was to put this trim piece in that they gave me, the buttons would be below the center console, and they would be blocked, and it would just look horrible. So I didn't want to go that route. Instead, I chose to go with a single DIN radio with faceplate that has has Bluetooth, that has all of that. I don't really need a backup camera. Like I said, it's a commuter car. I go from here to work and back home. It rarely goes out in public with me anyway. And the other thing is, I know I seem like I'm all over the place, but I just want to touch up on everything that comes to mind. The other thing was, most of the speakers in this car are blown. When I turn up the bass, I turn up the mids, I turn up the treb, you can hear the crackling. It just sounds horrible. Anything beyond a volume of like 17 or 18, the distortion is there. So I said, alright, well, I'm going to upgrade the radio to Bluetooth. Which this was from Best Buy. It's a Kenwood, and that's the model I've taken on. It was an open box deal. I got it for about 83 or 85 bucks, and personally, I like it. It comes with an external mic. It comes with the with all the wires you need to connect to everything. That's for the faceplate. Figure that out soon enough. Got my instruction manual, and I was doing a little reading, light reading, in the time being while I was waiting for this stuff to be shipped to me. It was kind of nice. So obviously that's for my microphone. It says mic on it, and the good thing is now I can mount that mic wherever I want in the car, and it will be, you know, that's where it'll be. And wow, this thing is just impressive. The other reason I got this radio, and I'm a bit of a sound guy. I do like my sound systems. I have, to give you a brief overview, I have a line output converter, along with that comes with the RCA jacks, and that goes into a 1000-watt crunch amp, into 212 subs, 212 450-watt Pioneer subs that are under my back seat in the monster truck, and they hit pretty good. I do eventually want to upgrade that radio, but for the time being, I felt like, you know, it was stock and I liked it, and I had the Bluetooth and everything, so I'm okay. But I went with this radio because it has the preamp outputs over here. So I have the preamp output for the let's see, for the rear, for the front, and then I have subwoofer outputs. So when I do put in subs in this car, which will happen, I'm working on that also. This will go to my sub amp, and then, you know, that's what's nice is it's all built in, because I'll be able to adjust the high pass, low pass frequency, so I don't have to get an amp that has the low pass or high pass frequency built in. The radio does it all for you, and you can set everything here through the radio, and it makes everything just 10 times better. So that's one of the reasons I picked this one. And Kenwood's not bad. I had a Kenwood amp in the monster truck, and it lasted me a good couple of years before it decided to die on me. So there's that. So I have the radio. One other good deal I got was a 4-channel bridged amp for the speakers, for the door speakers, the tweeters, and I got another 4-channel amp off of Amazon, which is a Pioneer, about 500 watts. This is 600 watts, so that one's 500 watts, and that's going to be for the rear deck speakers. And I didn't really, you know, I could have gone a 6-channel. I couldn't find a good deal on 6-channel, so I'm going to just run two 4-channel amps. And if in case I want to add in any more speakers, the second 4-channel amp will have at least 2 more slots available for 2 more speakers. So I got a Kenwood 600 watt amp, and it's got everything on here. It's got your A and B's, and you got your high pass HPF and LPF, which is low pass frequencies, high pass frequencies, filters, and you can adjust everything. And my goal is in the center console, and you guys will see it when it starts coming together. I'm gonna have this mounted. So now imagine I'm in the driver's seat, my center console here. I'm gonna have this mounted where this is just right at the top, so I can see all of these. So as I have the system hooked up, if I still feel like it's not there or I want to tune it, I can tune it without having to remove a seat or go in the trunk or unscrew something. It's going to be right there, mounted in the center console. I'm going to try to make it look nice and neat as possible. So that is my goal there. With that being said, that's like this. I showed you that. On to some other cool stuff. That was an open box deal, no box at all. They literally gave it to me in a plastic bag. So, and then from my good friends at Crutchfield, I was able to acquire my speakers, all for under $100, believe it or not. So, and you're probably wondering, hey, how'd you do that? Right here. So, here's my little manual for everything, support manual for the speakers, my little baggie that contains all of mounting hardware and the wiring that will go with all these speakers. Each bag contains 2, so 2, 4, 6, and that's exactly how many speakers I have, is 6 speakers. I have 2 tweeters for the front, 2 6x9s, one for each the driver's side door, passenger side door. I don't have any rear door speakers, but I have 2 6x9 deck speakers. So And these were free. These came free with along with the instruction manual when I selected the speakers. I guess that was part of their Black Friday deal. It's pretty good. Right? The tweeters, obviously not an open box deal. Got them new. A set of JBLs. Let's see. Yeah, JBLs, and that's what I got. And you have to watch when you go to Crutchfield and you input your information in your car. You have to look at when you click on whatever speakers you're looking for, whether they say dash corner, door, or rear. You have to look at the when you're like looking at all the speakers and they're giving you the prices. There's a thing where it says fit exact, or a little triangle with an exclamation point that will probably tell you need to modify. I got these so they fit exact. I don't want to have to drill any more holes or drill anything because they're going right up on my dash, and there's not a whole lot of room to, you know, drill any extra holes or even just use a drill with a drill bit. So I spent a little more money, but I got something that just plug plays, goes right in. Now for the other door speakers, now both of these are 6x9s and they're both the same brand. So I went with a set of Pioneers, 400 watt mats, 6x9s. One's for the front, one's for the rear. Doesn't matter which one's which, they're both the same. And I got these on a deal. One was an open box deal for 28 bucks, believe it or not. And one said scratch dent, and that was $27. And if you're like me, you know, you don't care. These speakers are going to be covered. So if it's got a scratch on it. I don't think it's going to be noticeable. To me, I'm going to put my scratch dent speakers in the rear deck, which will be covered up by the carpet. And as long as I get good quality sound, that's all I care about. So I'm not too worried. And this is once again keeping it budget friendly. You know, I don't have an extravagant budget to spend on really insane crazy speakers. But then again, I'm not entering a sound competition, so I don't think I need crazy insane speakers. I got the music I like to play, and I listen to a little bit of everything. So I think two speakers that were about under 30 bucks each are a great deal for me, as long as I can hear the calls coming through loud and clear, and I got my music loud and clear. I'm happy with that. I'm not looking to, like I said, I'm not looking to be in a sound competition where I'm gonna blow everyone with bass or really clear sound. So that being said, so this is everything. This is what we got set up. So now my next step will be we're gonna be, what do you call it? We're gonna go out to the car. I'm gonna see where I'm gonna fit this. There's a space under my 4.3 Uconnect radio, which is supposed to be a little cubby hole. You know, do you stick papers or pens or whatever? But I guess they damaged it because it's like right through and through. You can see through and through this cubby hole to the dash. So this is exactly where I'm going to mount that radio. I may have to modify a little bit, but I'm going to do the best I can to get it modified and get it exactly how I want it to be. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. From eBay, I was able to order a set of install kits for both these amps that are the second amp that's coming in, the amp that I currently have. Plus speaker wiring and the whole 9 yards. It's by Scar Audio. They were about 23 a piece, I think, or something like that. I know it totaled up to a little over 30 bucks. I'm sorry, not 30 bucks. I'm sorry, a little over 40 bucks. And so those came in, and that's what's going to help me wire in this whole system together. So it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. Today is going to be mapping out everything, and let's see how far I can get with it. Alright, so stay tuned. We're going to go to the car, and I'll show you exactly where I'm going to be mounting this. Alright guys, welcome to the car. So, give you an idea of where everything's going to go. Move some stuff out of the way. And we'll be testing quite a bit of wires in the process. Okay. Alright, so ideally the amps are going to be mounted here. Alright, like I said, there's quite a bit of space here, and then there's actually quite a bit of space behind this deal too. So 1 amp can go there, 1 amp can go here. However, I plan to do it. All this wiring is not going to be here. This wiring is going to be cleaned up. A lot of it is unneeded because it came with the police car. I'm pretty sure a good amount of it is for the scanners that they use. Only some of it I've kept because previous videos, remember, I got my transmission temp gauge mounted here, and that's tapped into some of this wiring that does provide power and ground. So I will be testing every single wire to see what provides power, what provides ground, and whatever doesn't really provide anything will be cut and just taken out. And then obviously this plate is bolted down. I think this was for the whatever radio they had or whatever's going on. I'm going to remove this completely out so I can actually mount the amp in. The nice thing about how they brought these wires in is I can backtrace this, which it sort of goes underneath the carpet, through the back seats, and into the rear trunk of the car, and I will be tapping in for power that way. I'll be running my wires exactly the way they brought these wires in. So that's how that's going right now. So that's where the amp's gonna go. One of them or both of them, I'm gonna see. Let's see. And then right here, this is what I'm talking about. That's my, that's my radio. That's my Uconnect radio. It's loose. Don't ask. When I pull this dash apart, there was some Gorilla Glue back there. Somebody did something wrong. So right here is where I'm gonna mount this new radio. And I'm sure some of you guys are like, well, that space looks way too small. Yes, it is. I'm going to be removing this dash, and I'll be mocking up exactly how much I need to trim off in order to make this work. So as you can see, this is the radio right now. So like I said, I'll be mocking it up to see how much I need to take off and try to make it completely flush. That way it's workable, and I can mount everything there, and I'm good to go. So that is the goal right now. But what I'll do is, I'm not going to mock it up in car. I'm actually going to pull it out of the car and take it to the workbench, and that way I have a good idea. And I do have one thing you will need for this project is probably a good Dremel tool with like a small cutting wheel that you can make fine cuts and trims and sort of make this work. So I'm going to take this dash out, we're going to get it back inside, and we're going to go from there. Alright? Hey guys, alright, so had to do quite a bit of planning, quite a bit of disassembling. Alright. Essentially, the radio is behind your little climate control system, aka this, where you have your tuner and your knobs and your buttons, okay? So I pulled out my screen, pulled out that. I thought this was the radio. That's just really technically like a touch screen and the whole thing to monitor my the airflow, if I wanted my feet, my face, whatnot, all that stuff. And then obviously the tuning goes through all of that. If you want to tune for, like, you want more bass, you want more treb, you want more mids. So anyway, I had to remove this, then I had to remove the actual radio itself, which I'll show you is back here. Okay, that's the actual radio. And what I did is I cut back some of this wire so I could see what was what, and I could trace it. Now, thanks to All Data, and I will show you that also, I printed out the wiring, pretty much this, where it shows you this connector, and then it shows you what all the wires and where they go, so what goes to where. I just couldn't figure out what the tweeters were, so what I did is, and if you have a Charger Pursuit like me, I'm going to walk you through this right now. The first step you got to do is you got to get this A-pillar off, and it's a little tough because of this. This does not move at all, up, down, left to right. Only this moves. This whole arm piece stays still. So you have to kind of do your best to pull it down and wiggle and kind of pry up a little bit to give yourself that room. And then you gotta pry this up and push these. I'm gonna show you here. I'm bringing you in closer. Push these tabs. You gotta push these tabs out because they're clipped into here. You see this? They're clipped into here. So you have to kind of push them out over this, then pry this up, pry it up all along the way. Remove your B pillar. That comes out of the way, because if you don't have a spotlight on this side, it's easy. You can remove it and pull it out of the way. If you have a spotlight on that side, you have to repeat the same thing I did on the A pillar, except on the B pillar. And once you get it out of the way, pry it all up as much as you can towards the window, and then pull it towards you. Alright, that's how that's going to come out. You just pull it towards you, and it comes right out. And, let's see, what else? And then what I did is grab yourself this tool. Where is it? I bought it from, here it is. I bought this from AutoZone, believe it or not. It's like a little miniature screw ratchet with the bits for a screwdriver and Phillips and flathead and all that stuff, and it has a ratcheting mechanism. So I was able to ratchet the 2 bolts out and pull the tweeter out, and now obviously I can see my wires here. So I'm gonna go in and show you exactly what I did as far as papers and stuff is concerned, and I'll explain what we're doing in there. Hey guys, alright, so we're back inside. I'm gonna quickly show you what I'm doing here. So essentially what I did is went to All Data, printed out a schematic, or just a sheet that tells you the layout of all the wiring. And as you can see, I've highlighted certain things. So right here, essentially, that what I've highlighted there is the right tweeter. This is the left tweeter color, just so I know what's left, what's right. Obviously, because what I'm going to do first, and I find this to be easy, is I'm going to install my new tweeters in. Since I have plug-and-play harnesses, I'm going to install them in, put the whole top dash back together, put the A and B pillars back in, get all that settled. That's fine. There's nothing else that needs to be done back there, that I need to leave that all discombobulated. So that's what I'm going to do first. So coming back this side, I'm going to move this over. Now, something I wanted to touch up on, actually, before I even get started with this, is I have the wiring harness here for the new radio, and this is what's done. Nobody's done this. Nobody has. The only company, I shouldn't say nobody, the only company that has created a wiring harness that's female, that plugs into the male wiring harness, which is what we have, is what's the name of the company? Mastro. I'll put it in the link. Okay. Essentially, when you buy whatever speaker system you want to buy, I mean not speaker, radio, especially for a 2014 Charger, and maybe below, maybe like 2011 to 2014. If you have a regular Charger, Pursuit, whatever, it doesn't matter. They want to sell you a kit that essentially, like I said before, takes your AC excuse me, takes your AC control panel and it replaces it with another AC control panel, except this AC control panel and whatnot has the cutout for a double DIN or single DIN radio depending on what you bought, but it comes with a little cubby if you do a single DIN radio. If you have a double DIN radio, obviously you're using the full thing. Like I said, on mine it doesn't work, and I showed you why early on in the video. So essentially I went online, I looked to see if I could find a female connector for my harness. Nobody else makes this. And I can't justify spending $500 for this kit to get a part that's maybe $20. I just need the wiring harness. But in order to get that wiring harness, I need to buy this full kit, which is $500. I don't need the plastic DIN. I don't need any of the stuff. I just literally need that harness. And they don't sell that separately. You have to buy the kit to get it. There's plenty of others online, but unfortunately they're not meant for my ear. They say, when they say what cars and vehicles it fit, when it comes to chargers, they say from an '08 to a 2010. I'm not sure if I want to take the risk to buy it. The connector looks exactly the same as what it would plug into. I'm just not sure the wirings would match up. I don't want to cut and splice into my harness. I would rather have a female harness that plugs into the male harness, which is what I have, and then, tap into those wires, make it all work. So it's something to think about when you're taking on this project. Where do you want to go? I might try it, I might not try it. I'll let you guys know. So in the meantime, to get started, we're gonna we got our JBL tweeters out. Removed it out of the box. Comes with an installation manual, and I'll bring you guys down one notch, and you can actually put it down over here, and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so essentially they give us this coil wrapping, and they want us to wrap the bottom, it's a padding. They want you to wrap the bottom of the tweeters with it, and then you'll install it. So you just gotta break it apart. So here's one. Here's the other one. I don't want to put my nice fresh speakers on a dirty work surface, so I'll grab a little towel here. Put this down on a towel. And I'll open up my nice new speakers. And like I said, I got the, you can see here. Let's see. These two are the same. Looking at the connectors, these are definitely my bigger speakers. So this is my tweeters right here. One sec. You gotta forgive me, it is like ice cold in my garage, and I got this little space heater providing the only warmth. So that's what I had to do. I had to turn it because I'm like shivering here. So there's the little wires there, and they provide the little connectors, and they just plug them in, and then this plugs into the factory harness. It's fantastic. So nice, cool JBL speakers. Alright, and they want you to wrap that little thing on the outside over here. So what I'll do is I'll take this off. And just take your time. And obviously this is longer than you need it to be, so you'll trim the excess off. And I'm just going back around and making sure it is secure. So that's what you're doing. You're essentially just wrapping this. It's giving padding so that when you install it, obviously it's padded. You're not going to hear any vibrations off of this when you hit the speed bumps or bumps in general. And we'll do the other one same way. I'm really excited for this because I can't wait to see what this thing's going to sound like. Anybody knows, you know, if you're a big audio person and definitely like to hear your car, you know, definitely like to blast your music a little bit. I can tell you, it's when you got crackling speakers. Okay. I'll drive you up the walls. Like I said, it's my commuter car. I want decent speakers. I'm not looking to enter a sound competition. Just decent speakers. Alright, so now we got those on. Now you can just take your wires and you just hook them up. It doesn't matter what's positive, what's negative, because obviously that'll be fixed when you plug it into the oh, okay, there is a positive and negative. I'm sorry, apologies. Okay, so one is one connector is small and one connector is big, and you have the same here. You have a small and a big. So the white is your big connector. I'll put my finger back here so I can push this connector on and it won't break anything either. There we go. Because remember, this is just a little plastic board. You know, you don't want to break that. So I'll put my finger back there like so, and then push the connector on. So negative is your small, positive is your big. That's what I'm assuming. Black is your ground, white is your power. And we'll do the other speaker same way. There we go. Connected on. So now we'll go back to the car and we'll install these and plug them in. Alright guys, so we're in the car. We got my tweeter out over here. Okay, you just have to you literally have to just push this white piece in, okay, and then pull it out. So hence why I say remove the whole top pieces, so you can you get that way you get the idea of I mean you have the space, not get the idea, I'm sorry, you have the space to maneuver this. So now we'll put in our new one. And it plugs right in. Voila. I'm going to push the wires in there. I don't like the way this is sitting up, I'd rather it sit flush. There we go, get there. Alright. Okay. So now we'll put our screws back in. Alright, got our screws in. Now we grab our little tool here. I'll flip it to ratchet the other way. Okay, I'll do that side and I'm going to do this side. And essentially you just want to make sure it's good. And it's not going to bounce around, that's all. There you go. So that's good. It's not gonna bounce, it's not gonna move. Alright, and that takes care of that one. Hey guys, alright, so finally got it all back together. I had to pause it because I was just didn't want you guys sitting there watching me struggle and go crazy with it. But essentially this, this is what gave me a lot of trouble, because I had to kind of pry it and bend it to get the clips to go back where they needed to be, and then got everything situated and seated. I got the front piece back on, as you can see, so that's all there. It's all together. B-pillars back on. All right. I think I've put my stopping point here for today. I'm gonna leave my dash out, but I'm gonna put the other stuff back in, the radio and all that, because I'd like to actually hear the tweeters and see what they sound like. I think they probably sound pretty badass. And probably tomorrow we will continue and pick this up. It's I'm gonna leave the this front piece in my garage. If I have time later tonight, I'll modify it and you guys can be there for that. But other than that, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, show my channel some love. This radio install will be continued. I'm going to do a little more research tonight, like I said, a little more research tonight to see if I can find the thing, the harness that will go onto this. I might take a chance with Amazon and order it, so I'll see what happens. But other than that, I might either just cut this all together and then just wire in the new radio and put in the amp. So that's the other thing. I'm probably going to go through this tomorrow and find out what's power, what's ground here, and take out all the excess wires that I don't need. But appreciate it. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.